Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Richard Chaplin and the founder and chief executive of the Managing Partners Forum, and I'm your proud host for today's ceremony. Now, the awards that we are about to celebrate are Management Excellence Awards, and they recognize the vital contribution of management to the business of professional services firms. Now, as you'll hear from many of the winning entries, that contribution was vital during the pandemic, at times verging on existential. Now, in common with all forum events, the awards have an important educational dimension. So I'll be conducting live interviews with a representative from each of the winning firms on the challenges that they faced and how they went about resolving them. And I'm sure you'll be inspired by hearing about their fantastic achievements. As you know, the Forum's awards are grouped under three themes, each with multiple categories. And these are the themes, you can see them on the slide. So helping your clients be more productive, enabling your community to flourish, and making your business more productive. Now, in addition to announcing winners for each category, we will also be recognizing 3 Best in Theme winners at the end of the ceremony. And we're also giving an Exceptional Achievement Award to an individual who has made a significant contribution to our sector. So we're now coming into the business theme. Let's remember what that's all about. And again, I read here, with almost everyone working from home for some of the time, a key challenge for management is how best to foster productive, healthy, and sustainable working practices and sustain in. So the next one that we're going to be talking about is the Best People Initiative. And this one is sponsored by the CBI. And fingers crossed, we have Neville Eisenberg representing the sponsor CBI. He's on the CBI Council, so he's absolutely the right person. Hopefully he's joining us. Sir, welcome at last. I think we're going to have that speech re-recorded earlier, but this is good to see you on the stage. I knew that you could make it, but there you go.
Thank you, Richard.
Fabulous. Well, let's have a look at who are the finalists which have entered for the Best People Initiative. And the first one is Denton's. The second is Lubbock Fine. In third place, Shakespeare Martineau. And fourth is Waitman's. So let's see who came in second place. In second place is Denton's. Congratulations to them. And over to you, Neville, to announce the winner.
And the winner is Lubbock Fine.
And please welcome Robert Morley, who's the Chief Operating Officer at Lubbock Fine. And I'm going to be asking him some questions. I think you probably worked out by now. So thank you, Neville. We'll catch up with you later.
Hi, Richard. Thank you.
How are you, sir? Congratulations. Very good news. And
very pleased to
we'll probably end up talking a bit about it, but it's an ultra flexible, smart working model, I think was the description that we came across. And what they were particularly interested, the judges, was by your forethought of the need to make this shift before the pandemic, which is pretty amazing. So switch to me now rather than that. So just sort of, can I ask you a few questions, which just tell me a little bit about the model, to begin with. What is the smart working model that you and others came up with?
Well, in a sentence, I suppose it's, as you said, ultra flexible. So the reason it's sort of started before the pandemic was we were looking at implementing a sort of agile culture change throughout the firm. And we'd already sort of maxed out on office space, and with growth plans, we were looking at, the longer term real estate implications. So the combination of those two factors caused us to look at it. Then, of course, the pandemic struck. In lockdown for a year, companies starting to move out of it were starting to explore various hybrid models. There was news from the big four about what they were doing, and various opinions from returning to the office to flexible models, 2 days a week in the office. And we thought, well, actually, if you start from scratch, what model would you design if rather than start from what freedom should we allow, why don't we start from a position of 100% freedom in location and time, and then see what business controls we need to implement to make that actually workable in terms of a business.
That's fascinating. I remember years ago reading that apparently Google, they got very bored of signing expense chits or something. So they conducted a survey, said, did management add value? Can we do without management? And you'll be pleased to hear the answer was no, they couldn't manage without management. But did you actually get the leadership team genuinely to embrace smart working? Is that something that you found people paid lip service, or did they genuinely see there's something that was really helpful and important to the firm?
I think there was a broad acknowledgement that it was a good idea, but we agreed as a team that we'd give it a try, so to speak. So there was some healthy skepticism, but when we implemented it, it's proven to be very successful.
One of the things that we'll talk a bit in a minute about Net Promoter Score and clients, but there's a comment that you want people to remain reasonably contactable by clients between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Well, how would you define reasonably contactable?
Well, this was a really important important part of the model. So we were struggling with the idea of letting people work when they want. But then if a client wants to get hold of you or a colleague wants to get hold of you, how do we handle that? So we decoupled working from being contactable. And we had this simple rule of you can literally work when you want to. And interestingly, the thought behind that was triggered by a very interesting member of the staff who we discovered by accident was working from sort of 11 at night till 3 in the morning on a fairly normal basis in the office. And having ascertained that she wasn't crazy and didn't have some severe, personal problems, we embarked on the idea of best personal hours. So we accepted that actually people work at different times of the day, their natural body clock and cycle. So we introduced that freedom for working, but being contactable, to answer your question, is all of our members of staff have Microsoft Teams on their smartphones, and they will take a call or reasonably respond to the call a short time after being contacted.
Excellent. So just a quick question, final one now, if I may, but what's the impact been on employer productivity and on client care?
Well, I think the nervousness was about would the entire business fall apart if we implemented this flexibility? But actually the reverse has happened. We achieved a 12.4% increase in productivity across the board, which obviously is a huge financial benefit. Our coming out of the sort of the great resignation that was happening in 2021, we moved from the risk of that through to having 0 unplanned departures from the firm. Client satisfaction up tremendously, staff satisfaction up tremendously. And we ran a Net Promoter Score towards the end of last year, scoring us a plus 75, which is globally considered to be an excellent score. So
excellent.
It's been a tremendous success.
Robert, I'm going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations again to Lubbock Fine, not a firm that possibly the law sector knows very well, given you're a medium-sized accountancy firm, but just showing that actually when it comes to implementing new ideas, no sector should be thinking of themselves as being preeminent. There you go.
Thank you, Richard.
So over to you, and do send our congratulations to Marco, I know is in the audience as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the home straight and with the other 2 Best in Theme awards. Looking at the Best in Business theme. And these are the finalists. And again, these are all the winners we've had to date, so you will know exactly who they are. We have Clark Hill for their marketing campaign, if you recall. We have Lubbock Fine for their Smart People initiative, and we've just heard from Peter regarding strategic reimagination. So let's move on and let's actually work out who is the winner here. So the winner for the Best in Business theme is Lubbock Fine, and I'd like to congratulate Mark. Hopefully he's still with us. Robert, hopefully you're still with us. So congratulations, Robert. You actually won. How do you feel about winning a Best in Theme award?
Absolutely thrilled. On behalf of the firm, just thank you to the judges. Thank you to yourself. We're very, very happy.
Brilliant. Well, we've obviously had a good conversation before, so I won't need to go through any of it again. But just from our side to say that we think you're a very worthy winner, and the fact that you were thinking about it before the pandemic. And they always say chance favors the well prepared. So you clearly were well prepared when this very unlikely chance of a pandemic every 100 years, whatever it is, emerged. So congratulations on that. So
thank you very much.
And do thank the team, because I know it's not you personally that would have made this possible. That really concludes the awards for this year. And I wanted to congratulate all the winners and say better luck next year to everyone else. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully see you next year for the 21st anniversary of these unique awards. And hopefully, one never quite knows in life, they'll be face to face. So thank you again.
Oh, that's slow.